The new Pecron F3000, not to be confused with Anker's new F3000, though it's a great marketing tactic, has a sleek new design that we've been waiting for Pecron to give us for a while. And this thing, launching at only $999, is almost half the price of an Anker or Jackery or even EcoFlow competitor. So if it can perform decently, this could be an amazing option. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. We were pretty excited when we saw Peccy do something a little different with their new F3000. But looks aside, in the past, Pecron has been hit or miss with us. So we made sure to put this thing through the ringer here at the lab to find out if it's a good spend of your hard-earned money. As always, we have links to this unit down below, as well as any coupon codes that we can get out of Pecron for you guys. We also have links to things like our monthly giveaway and our power station quiz if you're not entirely sure what power station you need. But before we get into our experience with Mr. Peccy here at the lab, we're gonna hit you guys with a super quick spec teardown to get you up to speed with the all new F3000. First up, this thing passes the Tiny Baby lift test. It only weighs 63 pounds. Tiny Baby claims he could bench 6 of these.
Almost 6.
He was struggling just to do 1, so we'll leave that up for debate. It's got a 3072 watt-hour battery, which is expandable up to over 9000 watt-hours with 2 of their expansion batteries. And when it comes to the inverter on this guy, it has a 3600 watt output, and it claims it has a 4500 watt surge. You can go ahead and charge this unit with a regular house plug in your wall. It'll charge at 1800 watts, and in our testing, it charged from 0 to full in just over 2 hours. You can also charge it with solar. This has a 1600 watt solar input, which compared to the battery size is not bad. You could basically charge this thing full in just over 2 hours with solar as well. And taking a look at the rest of the unit, the ports, you have 5 regular 120 volt house plugs right here on the front, as well as a true 30 amp plug, which is always nice to see. You have your 12 volt car socket, 2 barrel connectors, and then 2 USB A's and 2 USB C's, one of which is a 100 watt output, which is great for things like laptops and stuff like that. And on the far side, you have your AC input as well as your solar input. And then on the other side, you just have your expansion battery port as well as a grounding screw. And otherwise, that's it. They've kept everything on the side and on the front, which is really nice. We love to see it. And overall, the build is pretty clean. It's like a newer look for Pecron. It looks a little more modern, I think it looks better than the old ones.
It looks a little less World War II.
Yeah, it looks like maybe we're prepping for World War III with this guy instead of World War II. The screen definitely got a little bit clearer and nicer to use. The buttons are a little bit nicer, a little more tactile. They're just better overall. And keeping on trend with some of their other units like the E1000 that they released earlier this year, this one has a power button. A lot of old Pecrons didn't have a power button. You only had your AC or DC inverters, so it was either on or off. At least this one can be on but not working. The app is the same as every other Pecron app. With this unit, it's okay. You can control the unit from afar, change a couple things that you can't do directly from the unit, but nothing crazy. And right now, Pecron has this thing on a launch sale for $999, which is honestly an insane deal. We also have a discount code that can stack on top of that. And as you guys know, Pecron usually has things on a permanent sale, so I can't see it going up much more than the $1,000 mark that it's already kind of at. And at that price, this needs to be taken seriously. Some of the first things that we liked about this new F3000, which sounds like a fighter jet, is some of the testing. Not all of it, but some of it was pretty good. Starting with the surge, it actually surged like crazy. So it claims it has a 4500 watt surge. Most of the time, a power station brand will claim they have a surge capacity and they really don't. This unit, you're actually able to run the 4500 watt load for like 10 seconds before it trips, and even beyond that. So that's always nice to see if you're trying to run something a little bit heavier duty, or if you just have some loads already going and you try to turn on something like a vacuum. That was the most random dumb thing that no one will ever try to use, but something like that, it will surge. And also the efficiency test was pretty good. So if you run this thing from 100 down to 0% at like the maximum 3600 watt load, it's about 83% efficient, which means that the inverter and the fans and all that aren't consuming too much power during a full-blown usage of the unit. We also like that there is a true 30 amp plug right here. Makes it really nice if you're taking this thing camping or using it in an RV or something like that. And yes, you can run the regular 20 amp plugs and the 30 amp plug at the exact same time. That's a question we always get. And speaking of camping, we do love that they retain the 12 volt car socket. That's great for running like a 12 volt fridge, camping accessories, stuff like that. Same with the barrel connectors. And another thing that we like that I don't think a lot of people consider is that they put the charging and discharging plugs all on the front of this unit. The only thing that's not on the front of this unit is the expansion battery port, which is on the side. That's really, really nice if you're using this in a busy space. You can put this thing up against a wall. You can have stuff stacked all around it in the back of your car, and you're able to charge it and discharge it without having to move anything. It's so much nicer to have all your plugs on one side of a unit than having plugs coming out all different ends. So good job on that. We really like that. And overall, with this new design, everything feels solid. There's no real weak spots in the plastic. Like, everything feels great when you pick it up, move it around. It doesn't feel like a budget power station, which is surprising considering the price. Something cool that they did too is they're actually one of the first companies that we've seen put removable, cleanable dust covers on the fans on a power station. You see this a lot with like full-size inverters in your garage, but it's really cool if you're traveling around with this. Well, it's not a very fine mesh. You're still going to be able to get like sand and stuff in there, but you can pop this out, clean the filter to make sure that it's running at its best efficiency, which is always nice. And we just really like that, like most other Pecrons, it's expandable. It works with Pecron's other expansion batteries, and you can just buy it now. And if you decide you need more in the future, you can grow with this unit instead of having to get an entire new unit. Depending on what you're trying to run, you could use this unit for about a day in a power outage. If where you are, you start having more severe power outages, another battery could add another day easy. Pecron didn't get this unit perfect though, and there is a couple things that I wish were just slightly different. Starting with these plugs. I like that there's 5. That's actually quite a versatile unit, but they're really close together. And if you have a bulky plug from like a portable air conditioner or even just a camera battery, if you plug that into one of these, you overlap the one beside it, which basically renders it useless. So while most plugs will be fine, if you have bulky stuff, you are gonna remove the ability to use the plug beside it when you plug it in. That always kind of sucks. Also, you guys had to see this one coming. There's no light. This is a heavy unit, takes 2 hands to pick it up, move it around. If you're in a power outage and you gotta bring this up from the basement, have fun, not seeing in the dark. Pecron, put a light, thank you. There was also a test that didn't perform exactly how we would have wished, which was the idle test. The idle consumption is how much power this unit is gonna use just sitting here turned on. We've been seeing units get really, really good these days, down in like the single-digit watts of idle consumption. The idle consumption on this guy was 37 watts. It's not the worst thing we've ever seen, but for a power station of this size with an inverter this big, basically turning it on and just sitting it in the corner with your sump pump plugged in, it'll last you about 3.5 days. Not terrible, but we've seen units do 5, 6, 7, 8 days just idling, so it just could be better, that's all. For a brand new unit in 2025, just a tiny bit better. But other than that, there wasn't a whole lot to complain about. It just kind of worked like we thought it would. So at the end of the day, even though nothing on this jumped out and wowed us, for the price of it, we honestly think that it's a really good unit. Pecron seems to be getting into the business of making good power stations for a really affordable price.
I think they're actually in the business of going out of business because their units are so freaking cheap. And they also offer free shipping and return shipping on this thing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
How they make money is not our problem. Point here is, for the price, this is a great buy. The other units that we were talking about from Anchor, Jackery, even EcoFlow, they're solid units and we do recommend them, but if you're trying to save some money, like, you really can't go wrong with this thing. Make sure you guys check the links in the description down below. We will try and get some coupon codes to help you save even more money on Mr. Pecky. We'll also leave links to the quiz and the giveaway if you guys are interested in checking that out. Otherwise, that's all we got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out and stay charged.